हेलो एवरीवन। आज हमारे साथ जिया मोजे है जिनका क्लैट ऑल इंडिया रैंक जो है 24 की एग्जामिनेशन में आया है 1444। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस जिया, आपने बहुत ही बेहतरीन स्कोर लाया है। हमारे देश की जो नेशनल लेवल की लॉ एंट्रेंस एग्जाम है इसमें इतना अच्छा रैंक लेके आना, बहुत इसमें मेहनत लगती है। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस टू यू जिया।
Thank you.
ओके, सो जिया, कैन यू टेल अ बिट अबाउट योरसेल्फ एंड आपके एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड के बारे में?
Okay, so I'm a 17-year-old student from Ghatkopar, Mumbai, and I'm in the 12th grade right now. I've taken up commerce. I'm preparing for boards. Right now, I'm preparing for boards as well as I gave CLAT this year. So it's been a long journey with a lot of balancing of everything. Yeah.
Okay, so what motivated you to choose this particular field and CLAT specific examination? You decided that I want to appear for CLAT only.
Okay, so I was always a little interested in law because family background and my father works with a lot of lawyers. So he always sort of pushed me towards it. But of course, at the end of it, it was my decision to choose law. Law is a field where a lot of knowledge is required and you're just constantly learning things. And it's just overall a really fascinating field to me. Coming to why I chose CLAT, it would be because CLAT is a very all-encompassing entrance exam. It's a competitive exam, right? And when you prepare for a competitive exam, the way you study, the developmental growth in you is astronomical. Because I
Mhm.
remember when I started in January of 2023 and me now are two completely different people. The way you think, analytical skills, all of it really improves. The habit of reading, being very much in touch with the world because GK current affairs is a major part of CLAT. And that being said, CLAT is also one of the toughest law entrance exams, and it is the toughest law entrance exam in India. So, if I'm preparing for CLAT, pretty much all my other entrance exams are covered. And it's just the whole journey of studying for CLAT is just very different.
Yeah, correct, rightly said. So जिया, इस नेशनल लेवल लॉ एंट्रेंस एग्जाम जो है, because you need to approach your studies properly, so how did you approach your studies and what specific timetable or study routine or technique you followed that worked well for you?
I think this is CLAT is more of an aptitude based test. So of course your aptitude does matter, but your aptitude can take you only so far. After that, it's your efforts and it's your discipline that matters. So it's important to have a schedule. I wish I had a little, a more organized way of studying, but that's not something that seems to work out for me a lot because it's impossible to stick to your schedule completely. So, but it's important to attempt. You need to plan your week effectively. You need to set goals that you need to achieve and daily tasks. Around 6 to 7 tasks a day is more than enough, and it's not just about CLAT. It's about everything. Even your little tasks which are important to yourself do matter, and you have to try to include those in your schedule too. It's just not just studying. It needs to be something versatile so that
Mhm.
and you have to keep on changing it. So
Correct.
what I did was I tried to give CLAT say around 5 to 4 hours a day, but it's not always possible. You don't get 5 hours a day to sit in one place and study, which is what CLAT requires. It needs utmost focus and presence. And so it doesn't matter how many hours you study, it's the amount of focus and presence and how present you are when you're preparing for it. And you need to be able to adjust. I think the most important skill here is being encompassing and being able to strategically incorporate a lot of things in your day. So
Correct.
while productivity is important, so is rest. And I think I struggled with taking rest a lot. There were a lot of days where I wasn't sleeping or I wasn't eating well and I was surviving off of coffee. But it's important to be able to do it properly. It's not easy at all, which is why CLAT is such a tough examination. But what CLAT really tests is your perseverance and your ability to handle yourself and your emotional quotient more than anything.
Right. Rightly said. Because this is not just, I would say, a very simple thing which you can just learn in 1 or 2 months and then go and appear for the examination. A lot of hard work and continuous dedication towards the examination is required. And that will only give you a fruitful result. So apart from, having a timetable, sometimes we are able to follow it, sometimes we don't. But as a student, there are sometimes we find some unconventional study methods, and sometimes they actually work well compared to those of a conventional method. So were there any unconventional study method or techniques which you followed and that worked well for you?
I think it would be that I did not have a very definite schedule, or I used to study whenever I felt like it. So a lot of, okay, it's a very risky thing to do because कभी कभी मन ही नहीं करता. Those are the times where you have to inculcate your discipline and where you have to force yourself to study. And okay, first half an hour you might not be able to focus. But then once you put your mind to it, the beauty about CLAT is it's all passage based, right? So once you're into it, you have no option but to focus. You will not able to solve it if you cannot focus. And that's the fun part about it also. It's very distracting. It takes you completely out of reality and you're very much into that thing. So if you're someone like me who reads a lot for escapism or just likes to be in her own little world, CLAT is a really fun thing to do. It's a fun experience. So take it in a fun way and you'll be able to do it.
यस करेक्ट राइटली सेड अगर बहुत प्रेशर ले लेंगे तो नहीं होगा आराम से जस्ट गो विद द फ्लो एंड जस्ट डू वट एवर यू आर डूइंग एंड हैव अ बिलीफ इन योर सेल्फ एंड देन डेफिनेटली दैट thing will work for you. Doesn't matter, sometimes unconventional methods also do work great. So, Gia, you were preparing for your board exams as well as for your CLAT examination, and managing two things at a time can be a little difficult. So, how did you manage your time effectively while preparing for this exam? And how did you make sure that you are balancing your board preparation plus your personal life and plus this CLAT examination as well? Because you had three things to manage. So, how did you do that?
I'll be honest, I wasn't very good at managing this, but I think I'd say it's just be very up to date with your assignments. It's very important to finish them beforehand because when it comes to submissions, it's a headache when it comes to boards. So just be updated with it. These are very small assignments, or just complete it when as and when you get those. And with boards, I wasn't really as focused with boards. There were a few subjects that I did, keep up to date with the maths. So I'm a commerce student, right? So I have maths and accounts. So maths and accounts were two subjects I did very regularly until I think in November I left accounts a little, but accounts I made sure that my base was very strong. And accounts is something I've been doing since 11th. So my base there with maths and accounts is very strong. Theoretical subjects, I find them easy to do. I score well in them very easily. So I could put them off. But it's just if you go to classes, attend your classes regularly. Don't miss out on classes. It's fine if you don't study at home as much when it comes to boards. It's just if you attend classes, it's more than enough. Um, this is specifically for HSC boards. I don't know about CBSE. I cannot say about CBSE or CBSE or other boards because their curriculums are very entirely different. So here is just this is what just worked for me. And I also had a very strong support system. My dad is a teacher, so he was able to help me out with my schedule and me helping juggling. And then also, of course, I had really good teachers at EduCARE also, who sort of always kept me emotionally sane in a way. I was able to handle it at the end of it.
Okay, great. And this has been a very long journey because you had invested almost a year for preparing for the CLAT examination. So there were definitely there must be some challenging moments which you had faced during your preparation. So can you share some challenging moment which you faced during your preparation and how did you overcome it?
I think there were times where after mock tests where I wasn't, growing. I saw my growth chart drop more than drop, just stay stagnant. So the dropping is not an issue, but when your growth chart is stagnant and you're not able to grow, it gets really, really, really frustrating. And at one point, you start questioning. I started questioning the whole concept of it. Am I doing this? Am I capable of this or not? But then at the end of it, it's just I like it. I have fun doing it. So I have to do it. Doesn't matter the result. I need to be able to just push all of those thoughts aside when I'm solving, because at that moment, that passage in front of me is the only thing that matters. So yes, I think while a lot of those thoughts, shrouded me when I'm just going to sleep, or if I'm not able to focus on one particular day to study, when you're solving a mock test, it's just you and that paper, and all those thoughts are out. So I don't think I faced that problem while solving anything. But yes, afterwards there was a lot of disappointment for a while. I think towards the end I wasn't really scoring well in mock test. My scores dropped, but I thought, okay, not an issue. I just need to be able to be calm. That's it. And what really helps is, your other friends, your friends who are also preparing for CLAT. They're the only ones who will know you. They're the only people who you can talk to about it. So I just be open with your friends and teachers. It's very important to also have a safe space
Correct.
where, because I remember me and my friends have cried a lot when it came to CLAT. We've cried a lot with you. We've taken up our worries with almost every single teacher. We've also missed classes because we've been so tired, but then we've always gotten up and done it. So yes.
And that is what matters, because no matter what, sometimes difficulties come, challenges come, but we just have to think positive, that okay, fine, we have the capability of doing it and we'll be doing it. That is what matters at the end of the day, and that is what you did. So I'm so happy to see the students reaching their goal towards, and we can say, because the challenges which the student face, because it is an examination where a lot of time is invested and lot of emotions are also invested, because your hard work is involved, your parents emotion, your teachers, and everybody's, and your own emotions are involved into it. That is why.
Like I said, CLAT tests your perseverance more than anything. So that's also something that I always kept in my mind, that it's just CLAT is testing me. They want to break me. They're trying to break out the best of the best, and I have to be above that certain level. I have to be able to perceive this and have a very strong-minded and strong-willed approach towards it. So that's just something that kept me going. It's just because I remember our sample papers were hard, and the math, it was scary. It was scary. I remember, taking it up with Kundan sir and be like, sir, ये क्या math दे रहे हैं हमें, हमने ऐसा तो practice किया ही नहीं है पूरा साल. And I remember I used to rant to my friends so much. So I think the point is you have to be strong-willed about it. You have no option.
Correct.
You have to
Right.
persevere. That's it.
Yes. So were there any, see, apart from maths, as you said, were there any particular subjects or any particular topics which had played a very significant challenge for you while your preparation?
I think logic, definitely logic. It took us a while to be able to, attempt those questions. I always attempted those questions, but more than the number of rights and number of wrongs, which slowly did, change and did improve over a while. Then I did become really good at logic. Then I did end up scoring. Like in the final exam, logic was a little hard. So that's the only place where I've lost marks. Otherwise, the rest of my paper was very easy. And so there's GK. GK, the one thing I think I struggled with was staying consistent with. It's just constantly keeping up, and then if you're keeping up with this, whatever you've missed out, covering that up is very hard. It's not easy. And with CLAT, the way GK is so vast and in depth. So, but I had a lot of material thanks to you and Kushwan sir. we were provided with a lot of material. So I was able to keep up. It's not that I wasn't. It's just GK is so out of the box, you cannot expect a particular thing, but you still have to be able to think the way CLAT thinks.
Correct.
But that's the fun of GK also. It was just fun. The discussions in class, all the information being shared, the way my opinions on those particular topics. So all of that is a very enriching experience in my opinion. So if you take GK as fun, nothing is stressful.
Correct. And GK is the most difficult part actually for the CLAT students.
Exactly.
So this is the only section जिससे बच्चे डरते हैं कि GK पता नहीं क्या कब कहाँ कैसे पूछ ले. But if you take it in a fun way and if you make it as a habit of doing a little things and then going through it and specifically talking about it is very important. Just reading will not help you to
Yeah.
understand things. If you are talking with someone, you'll be able to understand the topic in a more easier way if you discuss about it because you can know the other opinions also. And sometimes some information can be left out, which can come out after you are discussing it. Okay. Fine. And what study resources did you use and that were very useful for you? It can be, as you said, the study groups, because I remember that you guys used to come and study. Apart from that, the textbooks which you had referred to, what all resources you used and that was very helpful while your preparation?
Because I did not refer to a lot of external sources. There were a lot of resources provided by EduCARE itself. I'll be honest with that, and I found them very apt. So
Mm.
it's not that I, didn't want to refer to other resources. It's just that the ones offered to me were in itself very apt, and I was able to solve them very well. We used to get like 90 questions a week just for legal. So those helped. Obviously, practice helps. And I did refer to external sources. It's just I used to ask my friends who go to other coaching classes for their mocks, and I used
Mm.
to solve those. But then at the end of it, I just found whatever I had at BHK very self-sufficient. Yes.
Oh, great.
But when it comes to newspapers, I
Mm.
think it's very important that the Hindu, when it comes to reading, when it comes to language, but the Indian Express, when it comes to information, Indian Express always has very complete set of information, even though the language might not be as good. But if
Mm.
you want to inculcate a habit of reading, the Hindu is the best.
Correct. Rightly said. And this examination requires a lot of practice. So, how did you approach revision and how often did you revise from your study material?
Okay, so I think when I started in Jan 2023, most of my portion was done by June when it came to legal. The
Mm.
important topics I was done with till June. After that, I did solve section-wise tests. So I used to revise, and then I solved once my portion was done. I revised. I solved a lot of text section-wise tests, and then I started solving mixed exercises where there were RCs from different topics. So not just sticking to one topic. It does help to stick to one topic because the concepts in those topics become very clear. For example,
Mm.
contract offer acceptance, and the different type of contracts being bailment
Special
and
contracts.
yeah, special contracts
Mm.
and void and voidable contracts. Those are two very important parts of contract. So the more you solve, the better your concepts are. But
Correct.
also, it's a matter of approach while solving legal. You have to be very specific about what you want from the passage.
Correct.
So I'd say practicing a more versatile set is
Mm.
important, but at the same time, you need to concentrate on the quality of information and the type of questions you're solving. It matters the analysis of what CLAT has been asking.
Mm.
Whether the questions are short or the questions have more words, or the
Mm.
options are long or short or one-worded or one-liners. So it depends.
Correct. Okay. And what role did mock test play for your examination? Because solving the mock test is a must for preparation of CLAT. So, what role did mock test and practice exam play in your preparation?
I think it's very, very, very important to solve mock tests. It's a 2 hour examination which involves a lot of reading. So one, solving a mock test at length is important, for you to be able to understand how many questions you're able to attempt and improve upon it. Of course, because this examination works on negative marking, so it's important to attempt more. I attempted a total of 112 out of 120 in my final examination, so which is a good number
Correct.
of attempts.
Correct.
And
Yes.
that happened because of me giving so many mock tests. I think I solved more than 40 mock tests, which is more than enough. And at the same time, it's important to solve mock tests, but not too many, right? There's a
Correct.
certain amount, there's a certain limit, and those mock tests mean nothing if you're not analyzing them.
Correct.
Analysis is very important.
Correct. Rightly said. So, what advice would you like to give for the future aspirants who are trying to achieve a similar success like you? And is there anything particularly which you wish that if you had known this particular information before your preparation, that would have helped you? Is there something like that?
Yes, definitely. I wish I'd known my own potential, honestly, because I remember it was the second mock test where I had scored better than most people, better than everybody in class, and it just clicked to me, okay, maybe I can do this, maybe I have the aptitude for this, right? I'd taken it, I'll be honest. The first 6 months, I hadn't taken it very seriously. I wasn't very serious about CLAT because I didn't think of NLU as much. But then in the last 6 months, then my gears started really working and I was putting in a lot of efforts. So I wish I could have done that before, but it's just what it is. I got here and I'm more than grateful for it. And the thing is just so what I would advise to other aspirants planning to give CLAT 25 or maybe any upcoming CLAT examinations would be that stay consistent and don't take it lightly from the start. Just don't. It's important, to go full throttle since day one. And I get it, you at one point you feel really burnt out. I was really burnt out after one point. So it's just important, have a safe space, be able to regulate your day, your emotions. Don't take everything so overwhelmingly. Don't take the burden of it because it's not a burden. You're supposed to have fun with it. The process you're supposed to enjoy. The end result will be good.
Correct, rightly said. एंड हाउ डिड यू फील ये सब कुछ इतनी मेहनत करी इतना सब मेहनत करने के बाद जब फाइनली एग्जाम खत्म हो गई देन हाउ डिड यू फील आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग योर एग्जाम एंड वर देयर एनी अनएक्सपेक्टेड और एनी मेमोरेबल moments while appearing for the examination itself?
I don't think there was because, what my experience during the exam was the first half an hour, I was a little tense. The thing is, the whole examination was very intimidating because there were so many people there. And this year, the number of aspirants also increased. So it was just my center. There were so many people there. So my first thought was competition. So much competition. How am I supposed to persevere? इतने लोग हैं, मैं 2000 के नीचे कैसे आऊंगी? छोड़ो, NLSIU कैसे? But I think at the end of it, when you're in your paper, you're in your paper. The first half an hour, I was a little tense. But then by the time I reached legal, it was like, okay, ठीक है, बाकी सब गया भाड़ में. It's just this. I'm having fun with it. The paper was easy, right? And so I attempted GK at the very last. I
Okay.
hadn't even seen GK till then. And then when I did, I had I wasn't ready for the shock I was about to get. So I think they did try to trick us, but I had fun with it. My exam was fun. That's my experience with CLAT.
Great, great. So thank you, Jia. I'm definitely sure the future law aspirants who are watching this video, they will definitely, get to learn a lot of things, the mistakes which they need to avoid, and how, it is not very difficult as it appears to be. It is just in your mind that once you have decided that you want to do anything, definitely you will be able to achieve it. And in the end, that is what is going to matter the most. So thank you, Jia. This was a very, very good session. And the future law aspirants, I would also like to ask Jia that because she has scored such a good marks in the CLAT examination, what are your future academic plans after getting into an NLU?
Okay, so I'm aiming for NLU Mumbai or GNLU, but let's see if I'm able to get on those. And if I am, if it's MNLU, even better because it's at a locational advantage. But I think the best part about an NLU is the academically rigorous curriculum and the way they teach, right? But if not NLU, there are a lot of different colleges. I just want the future aspirants to know that it's not just NLU. CLAT is just one examination. There are many more to come. And coming to my plans, I am more interested in corporate. At the moment, I want to keep my options open. But if not an NLU, GLC and ILS are very good options. If there's not GLC and ILS, there's definitely a number of private colleges. Right now, along after CLAT, I'm also giving this mhcet, and I do plan on giving my mhcet my all, right?
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you so much,
Because
Jia. It was very good talking to you.
yeah,